This podcast is supported by Talkspace.
When my husband came home from his military deployment, readjusting was hard for all of us. Thankfully, I found Talkspace.
Talkspace provides professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatric providers online. Military members, veterans, and their dependents ages 13 and older can get fast access to providers, all from the privacy of their computers or smartphones.
I just answered a few questions online, and Talkspace matched me with a therapist. We meet when it's convenient for me, and I can message her anytime. It was so easy to set up, and they accept TRICARE. Therapy was going so well, my husband and I started seeing a couples therapist through Talkspace too.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, including TRICARE. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com/military. Go to Talkspace.com/military to get started today. That's Talkspace.com/military.
Hello, book lovers. Welcome to Must Love Books.
Stephanie and I have an idea to propose.
Okay.
Oh, God. Take it away. We should do a white elephant, but with books. For our Christmas one.
I'm in.
So we all buy like a really weird book, and then we just do a white elephant. And then we read the book.
I'm in.
Okay.
But they have to be short books.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. This episode, when it airs, is going to be our 50th episode of the podcast.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Happy 50th.
Like literally number 50.
Anniversary.
50th anniversary.
Episode anniversary?
Yeah, episode anniversary. Something like that. So not to be confused with our 1-year anniversary, which has not happened yet.
You gotta do like 50 jumping jacks or something.
Yeah.
No.
We'll take a video.
Yeah.
No.
You gotta do something.
We can all do them.
No, nothing.
Yeah, see,
50
anything.
drinks of wine.
50 sips. I can do 50 sips of wine. So before we get started, there are a couple of things I need to share with our listeners. Firstly, we are on Patreon. There is a free tier as well as a $5 a month tier available. Both tiers will include access to content and early access to news and updates. Members will have the chance to have their questions included in author interviews. Members of the Book Lovers tier, which is our paid tier, will have exclusive access to a members-only podcast series, Let's Get Smutty. In this series, Smut Slut, Daddy Zeus, Reverse Harem Baby, and myself will be writing our very own spicy tales, little short stories. We're going to start recording this in January, so stay tuned and get your smut here. Our second piece of news is the Must Love Books Podcast Awards. You can vote on Instagram or through email at mustlovebookspodcast@gmail.com. And we will be announcing those winners in January 2025.
Can I win?
I was about to say that. Can I win?
Did you guys publish a book in 2024?
Yes.
I can.
You know what? I could. I did.
Okay, that's all for our news. So we're going to dive in. Welcome to the Thanksgiving episode of Something Smutty Book Club. This episode is a special holiday episode, and today I will be reading this month's book out loud to you all. And don't worry, it's only 13 pages. So without further ado, I am Slowburn.
I'm Smut Slut.
Crazy Beach. Reverse Harem Baby.
Daddy Zeus.
DNF.
And we are going to be, or I should say I am going to be reading Stuffed by the Were Turkey by Tate McKirk. This one has over 1,100 ratings on Goodreads with an average rating of 2.10.
Oh, it's really good.
So I'm going to read the description for y'all. Hold on to your cranberries and watch out for spilled gravy. Josette is an animal rights activist that saves an ordinary turkey on Thanksgiving. But is there something more to the strange bird? I feel like there's going to be something more, for sure.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. My prediction is not even a bird.
Ooh.
We hope it's not a bird. What's it called that birds have?
A snood?
A cloaca? What is it?
What?
Cloaca? Cloaca?
Coccyx? No, that's something else.
What?
A coccyx is in the human
Hold
body.
on a second. Hello? Paige, quickly. What is the genitalia that birds have? We had a whole conversation. What is it called?
It's a cloaca.
Okay. Stuffed by the Were Turkey by Tate McKirk. It says it should take me 7 minutes.
Oh.
Okay, well, we'll interrupt.
Let's start a timer. Let's see how long it actually takes compared to what the book says.
To what Kindle says my reading speed is.
All right, hold on. Let me start a timer.
Are you ready? It starts off with yelling.
Oh,
Oh,
you got it.
you gotta fucking yell.
All right. I want different voices for each character.
Oh, I can't do that shit.
Yes.
I'm hoping the characters are just a woman and a turkey. And
Have Kaylee read the turkey cards.
I feel like that's an insult.
Alright, go.
ready? Stop senseless murder. Animals deserve to live too, Josette yelled, waving her sign in the faces of everyone that went into the turkey farm. Technically, she wasn't allowed to be on their land, but she wasn't really on it, was she? After all, she was just calling at the cars passing by, watching their confused and horrified faces from behind windshields. They didn't understand, not like she did. Jo had been vegan from an early point in life, back when she had realized where hamburgers came from. Ever since she'd made it her goal to never eat another animal or byproduct. Butter had been hard to give up, but ultimately worth it not to take any part in animal suffering. Also, there were a few perks. Her body was lithe and toned from a healthy, unprocessed, meatless diet, and she exercised more than anyone she knew. If you counted advocating for animal rights exercise, and she did, considering the amount of running she did, which it looks like she was about to do now. Get back here! I can't scream like a farmer. That's the best I can do, sorry. Get back here, a farmer screamed, and she was shocked to see that he was chasing a turkey. The poor thing looked scared out of its mind, running straight at her. She did the first thing she could think of. She opened her arms. The bird jumped into them, shivering in fear. All Jo could see of the farmer was the angry set of his mouth and the whites of his eyes, and she knew that he couldn't let this man take the turkey back. She bolted. Her car was a little bit down the road, and she knew that the man wouldn't be able to catch up to her, even though she could hear him calling after her. Stop! You stop right now! You don't understand! Thief!
Steve.
Quickly, she keyed into her car, setting the turkey in the back seat and starting the engine. I don't feel like that's something you could do quickly.
No.
She probably checked that sucker.
Right? Mm-hmm. She was halfway down the road before she realized just how crazy what she had done was, but at the same time, she didn't care. That poor bird was probably about to be put on the chopping block, and she felt giddy with excitement. It was something that she could brag to her friends about, after all, since they were coming over for dinner tonight. Don't you worry, buddy. Everything's going to be just fine now, she murmured, glancing in the rearview mirror from time to time, just to make sure he wasn't destroying her seats. The turkey just sat there, calmly watching her. If she knew how turkeys were supposed to act, she might have thought it unnerving. I guess I'm going to have to keep you in the bathroom for now. Jo wasn't exactly sure where she would even be able to take the bird after all of this was over, but she was sure that she could find some farm where he could live a long, healthy life and maybe make some baby turkeys with a nice lady turkey. The thought made her sigh, mourning her own lackluster sex life.
Yep.
For some reason, most guys didn't latch too hard onto the save the animals lifestyle, not unless they sported dreads and smelled like rancid patchouli. So really the only romance that she had in her life was 10 inches of battery-operated rotating and stimulating power.
Wow.
Wow.
Just thinking about her expensive vibe made her knees quiver and her mound tingle.
I hate mound.
But she didn't have any time for that. She had to prepare dinner. I need a drink. Hold on.
That's crazy.
That's
silly goofy mood.
Also, she just picked up this turkey and is immediately thinking about her vibrator.
She's like, oh man, that turkey's gonna get some. I wish I got some too.
It hadn't been her idea to make the local pita branch dinner, but since there were only 8 people, it hadn't seemed too daunting when Sadie, the leader, had chosen her for the task.
Also, pita sucks. Like, notoriously.
Pita bread?
No, organization.
Oh, PETA.
You're like, no, that bread's good.
Yeah, they're not as pro animal rights as they claim to be. They're just more pro judging others.
Mm.
But take a handful of people who didn't eat meat or dairy, and most of whom were allergic to gluten or nuts, and expected everything to be served in BPA-free everything, and your options were limited. Especially when everything had to be organic, because people would know.
I thought you were making stuffing.
Yeah, Allie's disappointed.
I almost cried.
I saw her.
I like your necklace. Thanks.
It doesn't make up for your stuffing.
Does that make up for
hair
your
looks
lack of
nice.
stuffing? But I almost made up for it. I mean, I'm pretty now.
You're pretty. I agree with you. She didn't really know how they knew, but they could tell, like some creepy sixth sense. Soy was Joe's friend, and along with tofurkey and quinoa, she thought that she might be able to make something passable. You be good in here, she waggled her finger at the turkey, and in turn, he waggled his throat flaps at her and gobbled.
Excuse me?
His what? Throat flaps? I don't think that's what those are called.
That little dangly thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Balls.
A sneed.
It's the flap that hangs over the beak is a snood.
Oh. That little, like, teardrop
Well,
looking
no,
thing.
it's unless you fucking talk it looks
I
like
still
this.
think it's a sneed.
Well,
You'll be wrong. She laughed as she closed him into the bathroom. Joe hadn't known that turkeys actually did that. Thought that maybe that noise was just silly sounds for the benefit of children. Joe sounds really smart.
Yeah.
So educated. An animal rights activist who doesn't know what sound turkeys make. While she's been standing outside of a turkey farm.
Can you give your best impression of a turkey?
No.
I dare you.
I think everyone should.
That better be put in.
You gotta leave that
If it's not.
I'll put it in, but everyone else needs to do one now too.
No.
Okay. All of the prep work wasn't too hard, a lot easier than making an actual turkey and stuffing. Plus, there were a lot of other great traditional dishes that she could make with some substitutes, like mashed potatoes and fresh cranberry sauce. It was like a scratching, and it caught her off guard for a moment until she remembered the turkey in the bathroom. Cursing, she ran to the bathroom. She was all for the conservation of animals, but she also wanted to be able to get her deposit back when she moved out. As her hand darted out to open the door, the knob started to rattle before she could even get her fingers around it. She took a step back in shock. Could turkeys open doors? For a moment, she felt like an idiot. They weren't those dinosaurs in that popular movie. Yet, Jurassic Park.
Oh.
Those dinosaurs in that popular movie.
I, for some reason, was thinking of a turkey movie.
Oh my God.
There isn't one.
Uh-huh.
Yet the doorknob still jiggled. There was no way that the turkey could do that, right?
Right.
She braced herself and opened the door, only to blink in confusion. Had the turkey always been so big? She could have sworn that it was only about as big as a workout ball, but now it seems like it had almost doubled in size. It was odd. With a curse, she noticed some of her stuff on the ground, namely her $20 organic shampoo, and all thoughts on the size of the turkey were out the window. Oh, come on, she groaned, noting the crack in the side of the bottle. Do you even know how much the Awapui, what the fuck? Awapui? This type of shampoo.
Oh, I don't know.
Awapuhi.
Wapui.
Do you even know how much the Awapui costs? She complained, grabbing a wad of toilet paper to mop up the spill. Not effective.
No.
It was all over the floor, and
Like her.
right?
She's stupid.
She's not the brightest. It was all over the floor, and she grumbled as she got onto her hands and knees to wipe it up. All the while, she could feel the animal nudging her from behind.
Yeah, I don't like where this is going.
Come on, buddy, gotta clean up this mess. I have more important things to do than play with you, she stated crossly as she tossed each goopy wad of toilet paper into the toilet.
She's going to use like a whole roll of toilet paper.
Seriously, like,
Don't clog that toilet.
you're in the bathroom, isn't there a towel? Throw a towel down, right?
I take my towel into my bedroom, so probably not.
Definitely not good for the environment. At least flushing it would get rid of the evidence.
It's your house. What do you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
She doesn't want the other vegans coming over to know she used so much toilet paper.
Oh, no.
The bird bumped even harder into her from behind, smooshing her against the side of the bathtub, and she started to get really irritated. Her short skirt was starting to ride up, and she could feel his feathers against her butt cheeks, soft and adamant. She started to think what a ridiculous situation this was, and how she should have never brought him home when he ground on her. Eyes wide, she knew exactly what that felt like and what exactly that should not be. She was reminded of her earlier lady turkey thought and felt a little grossed out, as if the animal thought she was also a bird. She should feel grossed out.
Yeah.
Maybe like get up. I don't know.
Yeah. Just then, a hand wrapped around her middle and started to fondle her tit. What?
That was very fast.
Yeah.
Joe screamed, jerking out of the touch. Who was in her house? And how had they gotten in past the turkey? And how? She stared in shock behind her. I need to prepare. Hold on.
This is interesting.
Interesting is one word for it. The man was hung, she give him that, with a beautifully muscular body. His cock arched up towards her as if it was magnetized and trying to find her.
Like a heat-seeking missile.
His pubes were a strange reddish-brown fuzz. Why is this highlighted? Her gaze went higher, with her looking at the man's chest. Normal, except he had no nipples. Okay, Kyle, explain.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, no belly button either. But there were more of the strange fuzzy hairs on his chest. No, not... Did you just break your fork?
Yeah.
She's really thinking about that cock too much. It's got her going a little hard over there.
Excited. Anyways, go on.
Okay.
Continue.
But there were more of the strange fuzzy hairs on his chest. No, not hairs. They almost looked like tiny feathers. With a harsh swallow, her gaze continued upwards until she settled on his face. It took a moment for her to register what she was actually seeing. The man's head was wrong. All wrong. He had a turkey's head.
Of course.
Oh my god. More like the turkey's head. So he is a fully naked man with red pubes and a turkey head.
Oh my god.
Like his penis head or his head?
His head.
I feel like if he can't communicate, he can't consent.
Joe swallowed, trying to figure out how to scream, but the sound died in her throat. She felt almost mesmerized by those beady black eyes, body going slack as she slumped back against the bathtub.
Okay.
That is insane work right there. That is fucking crazy.
They're like, how can I get away with writing bestiality in my book?
Yeah. And I guess this is it.
He has a human body with a turkey head.
What the fuck was he? That is the real question.
Yeah.
She couldn't even begin to fathom what the hell was going on in her life. Just a moment ago, she had been just a normal girl, and now here she was, legs akimbo.
Like a turkey.
Akimbo. Legs akimbo, staring at the creature's enormous cock. She felt like she was in a trance just looking at it. Taking advantage of her weakness, the turkey man's hand darted out, catching a fistful of her shirt and popping the buttons. Her creamy tits... creamy?
I have never referred to my tits as creamy before.
Me either, because we're normal.
Well, I made it 47% before I gagged.
We're only 47%. We're already at almost 20 minutes of reading.
Wow.
Yeah, now it says I still have 11 minutes left.
Oh.
My reading time slowed down.
Uh-huh.
Next time I meet a man on a dating app, I'm going to say, warning, I have cream.
You need to, and then screenshot it and send it to us.
You should just put it in your bio.
If you like creamy tits, I'm the girl for you.
I would just be like, proof?
Her creamy tits were bared to the air, dusky nipples hardening under his animalistic gaze.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's an animal. Because he's a turkey.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
This was crazy. She shouldn't be getting aroused. For fuck's sake, the man looks like a turkey. That was highlighted.
Because
I
he is
think
a
it's more like
45
the turkey looks
times.
a little bit like the man, you know?
Yeah. But those strong hands gripped her breasts, kneading them as strongly as she had the quinoa meatless loaf earlier.
Ow.
Yeah. She groaned, nipples peeking under his ministrations. Ministrations?
Menstruation?
Yeah. Okay. Despite herself, she felt her pussy get moist.
Ew.
Disgusting.
Ew.
His cock still strained towards her, glands.
Her glands?
No, comma glands. Let me try that again.
Okay.
His cock still strained towards her, glands peeking out from a hood of foreskin. The turkey man was large, bigger even than her vibrator, which was 10 inches.
Yeah,
if you remember.
to reference, 10 inches.
He looked like he had bumps and nubs all over his cock and a thick
Ew.
curve upwards.
Just like that one alien book.
It sounds like he's got an STD.
You know, as we've said before, every STD known to man has come from someone fucking an animal.
That's true.
Someone, let's clarify, a man.
A man fucking an animal.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Is she going to create a new one?
Who? He might.
This girl who's about to fuck a turkey.
I hope not. I don't know.
He was bulbous, enormous. I hate the word bulbous.
So do I. It makes me think of noses for some reason. Like a
Yes.
bulbous nose.
Yep. Weird.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
I think of noses.
He humped the air slightly, and she groaned, wondering how he would feel inside, pressed against her G-spot. This was crazy! Yes, there was an exclamation point. With a scream, she managed to shake loose of the hold he had over her, kicking outward so that he fell over with a startled gobble.
I wish there was a spot you had to make the noise right now.
Lol! I can't do it again. Okay.
In edit, just put
But
the
it has to
noise.
also be a startled one.
Yeah.
Running out of the room, she tried to think of anything that might deter him. Something slammed into her from behind, and she went sprawling, banging her knees on the hardwood floor with a yelp. Panicked, she looked behind her again, only to be caught by those inky black eyes. Joe's cunt clenched involuntarily, and the turkey man gave a satisfied trill.
I didn't catch that.
What's her full name? Joseph.
Josette.
Oh, Joe.
Oh, her name.
It's Joe, yeah.
He does not have a
He's
name.
just a turkey.
He's just Turkey Man,
Yeah.
which is hyphenated.
Tom.
Tom.
Turkey.
That's probably pretty accurate. It's going to end up being Tom.
Teddy.
No, I think Tom fits better.
Sorry, keep going.
One of his hands reached up to trace the curve of her ass cheek. Is she naked? And she groaned. Try as she might, she couldn't move an inch. A finger traced the sodden folds of her panties, and Joe whimpered at the sensation. If he were a normal man, not some strange avian hybrid, but there were some sort of regality in the turkey man's features. With his wrinkled blue head that faded into his beard-like red chin flap, there was something almost attractive about the creature. Now she knew something was wrong with her, but she was too turned on to care. He sidled closer until his cock was pressed up against the cleft of her ass. With long, slow strokes, he rubbed back and forth in a maddeningly erotic pace. Each little bump and ridge along his cock pressed against her, sending little delicious shocks of pleasure up her spine. How wonderful they'd feel inside her. The turkey man must have thought the same thing, but with less decorum. He grabbed the crotch of her panties and pulled them to the side, rubbing the head of his dick against her weeping hole.
Disgusting. Absolutely fucking disgusting.
Jesus, she's got, what was it, boobs? Creamy tits. Creamy tits and a weeping hole? Somebody, who's gonna use that? Who's gonna use that line? Come see my creamy tits and a weeping hole. I think I'm the only one on dating apps, so it's gotta be me. Yep, you gotta do it.
Absolutely disgusting.
I would like a screenshot, please.
I agree. I'll change it for 1 minute just to screenshot it and change it back.
This podcast is supported by Talkspace.
When my husband came home from his military deployment, readjusting was hard for all of us. Thankfully, I found Talkspace.
Talkspace provides professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatric providers online. Military members, veterans, and their dependents ages 13 and older can get fast access to providers, all from the privacy of their computers or smartphones.
I just answered a few questions online, and Talkspace matched me with a therapist. We meet when it's convenient for me, and I can message her anytime. It was so easy to set up, and they accept TRICARE. Therapy was going so well, my husband and I started seeing a couples therapist through Talkspace too.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, including TRICARE. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com/military. Go to Talkspace.com/military to get started today. That's Talkspace.com/military.
She couldn't hold back the stuttered "oh" that was spilled from her lips. His shaft along her pussy was delicious, and she rocked back on it, wanting more. He teased her, lightly pressing the tip in and pulling away until her whimpers crescendoed. Oh, God. Oh, please, give it to me. I cannot say this in character.
Keep going, it's fine.
Oh, God. Oh, please, give it to me, she cried wantonly, not caring anymore that this strange man-bird was going to stuff her full of his meat. Highlighted 101 times.
Makes sense.
Joe wanted that cock, craved it. Please, I need it. That was enough for the creature, and he pressed into her slick folds. Joe went stock still as he entered her, realizing that he was far bigger than she had anticipated, probably the size of a Coke can at his widest. She cried out as he jackhammered his way into the sopping folds of her sex. Crooning her desire as at last the thickest part of his cock had wormed its way fully into her. Wormed? Joe dared to look at her. This is not how bodies work, guys.
Go ahead. Continue.
Joe dared to look at her stomach, and it looked distended, as if she had gorged herself on Thanksgiving dinner, full of pie and potatoes, veggies, and meat. She gave a crazed little giggle. Right? She's full of turkey. She was full of meat, glorious cock, and she loved it. You guys can't record me right now. I know I'm being recorded, but it's different. All right. Let me try again. She gave a crazed little giggle. She was full of meat, glorious cock, and she loved it, every inch of it. Her eyes rolled back into her head, and she gave a purr of pleasure.
Is she a cat now? This book is weird. -5 stars. I don't like it.
The feathers that made up his pubic hair brushed against her ass. I forgot he had feathers.
On his pubic hair.
Mm-hmm. And she rocked against him, delighting in the softness. Like a flash, he pulled out, cock scraping against her insides in a way that made her knees tremble. And then he slammed back in. Her clenching pussy, which had been twitching at the loss of him, was suddenly convulsing around the whole of him. Again and again, he pulled all the way out, only to ram his cock back in, each thrust enunciated by a sloppy, slick noise and the sound of flesh on flesh. Mm-hmm. Doesn't she have guests coming over?
Yes. Yeah, I want to know where they are.
You walk in.
They walk in, she's getting rammed by a turkey. And this is PETA, by the way.
Some sort of violation.
A reedy little whine escaped from Joe's lips, a high-pitched little exhale in time with each press of cock deep within her. She could feel her own orgasm building, more powerful.
Creamy tits.
So creamy.
I love how out of context nobody ever happens.
What was that?
She accidentally splashed the corn casserole.
The creamy corn casserole onto my tits! And now I have real creamy tits! I was cleaning it up. Look, I leaked now. You look like you're lactating. Oh, no!
Oh, well. You're welcome.
All right, I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
She could feel her own orgasm building, more powerful than anything that she'd ever experienced before. The turkey man was starting to make her never want to use her vibrator again. That's a little problematic for you. How many times is she already planning to fuck this turkey?
Yeah. She's like, you know what? I think I'm going to keep it there. It's fine.
He's just gonna be mine now.
Before she could reach her release, he pulled out, picking her up only to deposit her on the table. She gave a squawk of need. A squawk of need?
Yeah.
Right? She gave a squawk of need, wanting nothing more to be filled by him, as she landed on a plate piled high with mashed potatoes. They squelched around her ass cheeks. Her own juices dribbling down her legs to coat them like some sort of taboo gravy.
I like that though.
It only made her want him to fill her with his own seed, watch it dribble out of her and down her legs. He must have had much the same idea, as he pushed the fat head of his cock between her swollen lips and brutally adjusted his tempo. Her tits bounced back and forth, and she brought her fingers up to pluck at her sensitive nipples. The Birdman gurgled a noise of approval at her, hooking his arms underneath her legs to elevate her at a new angle.
What are they doing right now? I wasn't even paying attention. What are they doing?
So she's on the table, on top of mashed potatoes.
Okay.
And he's shifting her
32 minutes.
with each thrust. We're 75% through. We're almost
God.
done.
I feel like that's not far enough.
I thought this was only 15 pages.
It is. We just stop a lot. Fair. With each thrust pounded into her, he stroked her G-spot, the pleasure building within her with each stab of him. Stab.
Honestly, it's pretty good.
Yes, oh fuck, please, she screamed, orgasm blossoming in her belly. Give me all your meat, I love it. More, please, more, I want it all. With a triumphant cry, the turkey man came explosively in her snatch.
Who uses that fucking word?
Snatch is not like a positive term.
I hate that.
Ew. Her inner walls flooding with his cum. Just the sensation was enough to push her over the edge, her whole body shaking with the power of it. Wave after wave of pleasure crashed over her until she saw white, barely able to breathe through the haze of her euphoria. The turkey man pulled out, coaxing the last drops of his seed onto her breasts, and Joe leaned forward, taking his strange cock into her mouth.
Excuse me? That's a pass.
He tasted good. Strange, unlike any man she'd ever blown, but in no way undesirable. She wanted more. I would expect that he wouldn't taste like a man, because he's not one.
He's a turkey.
He's a wigger turkey.
I mean, it's fine enough. He is a wigger turkey. Wouldn't his head change too?
And he can only partially shift?
What's wrong with this?
Everything.
Yeah, like
I don't see it. He goes back and he just looks like a normal person.
Or he goes back, but he's got the turkey body in a man.
I hope so.
Fingers slipping along the lips of her pussy, she grinned up at him, unfazed by the strangeness of his bird-like head. With a cock like this, who could care for very long?
Yep. Everybody.
Yeah.
Not her.
I think I need seconds, she crooned at him, and the creature gobbled back at her, cock already twitching in anticipation. It was a very happy Thanksgiving indeed.
Keep going.
Joe groggily started to come to, unaware of a sharp, heavy sound going on in the distance. Someone was banging on her door, and slowly she got up off the floor, managing to grab a blanket off the back of the couch to wrap herself in. Her turkey man lover was nowhere in sight, and only the dried fluid on her legs and soreness of her hips could attest that what had happened last night had been more than a dream. Turning the latch, she was surprised to... Right?
This bitch is crazy.
Turning the latch, she was surprised to find Sadie there fuming. The girl threw a bag at her and turned on her heel to leave. Sadie, wait, what's going on? The blonde turned around, fury in her eyes. What's going on? You were supposed to have us over for Thanksgiving last night. And we got here, we heard you inside yelling how much you loved me and you wanted more. She snarled, sticking a bony finger in Joe's face. The way I see it, you're no friend of animals. Good job playing us, sister, but I see you for what you really are. A meat-loving bitch who took advantage of our kindness to make fun of us. Don't you ever come back. With that, she stopped off, leaving Joe to blink in shock. She had thought that the rest of the group were friends and was mystified that they had thought she was actually eating meat. Well, she grinned. She had been full of it last night, and if it meant not being part of the group anymore, she would gladly take her avian lover any day. Happy Turkey Day.
Where is he?
The end.
Where'd he go?
He left?
Probably still in the bathroom.
It says book
Is he
complete.
a turkey or is he a were-turkey still?
I think he might be stuck that way.
I feel like if they hadn't told you he was a were-turkey, you wouldn't have known he was a were-turkey. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, because the title.
Like, what is this? Like,
yeah. 37 minutes and 11 seconds.
37 minutes to finish our 7-minute book.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was awful.
You want to hear something else crazy?
Yeah.
When Kaylee and I were at Target.
Oh my God, guys, prepare yourselves mentally for
When
this.
Kaylee and I were at Target yesterday.
Keep this in, by the way.
Okay.
The world
We
needs to hear
were
this.
looking at baseball cards because Kaylee wanted to find some baseball cards. And she's like, she makes a comment like, oh, there's 5 packs of, what was this?
8.
Of 8 cards in each of these. What's 5 times 8? And I'm like, looking at her, I'm like, you figure it out, go ahead. Okay, you know, work it out, jokingly.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, like this old man, further down, like the aisle, he's like, it's 40. And we were like, oh, haha, yeah, see, Kaylee, you could have got it on your own. It could have been a learning experience. But, like, he told her. We were joking around. He comes over to us, right? And then proceeds to tell us that women's brains are smaller than men's. But, like, he thought he was being nice to us. Like, he thought he was, like, giving us advice. Like, you could tell he thought he was being, like, well-meaning. What else did he say? He
said we couldn't make
yeah.
kids.
So he told us, he's like, oh, so when you guys get older, you know, because your brains, he's like, oh, and I don't mean this in a bad way. Your brains are smaller than men's. But so when you get older and you have to deal with the stress of, like, having kids and, like, getting a house and buying a car, you guys don't worry about that stuff because you'll already be stressed out from having kids and your brain's going to already be in so much, like, smaller. It's going to be so much smaller that the stress of having to decide what to do for yourself is something you should leave to your husbands. Okay. I said, I agree with you. This is a man's brain. This is your brain.
Yeah, he, like, demonstrated how.
Leave all the decision making to the men.
He just kept talking to, and we were just stuck. There was no one around to help us.
I was just laughing about it.
Yeah, Stephanie was
I couldn't look
laughing.
at him.
I was like,
I couldn't look at him. I was like this.
I know. He was holding in the laugh. I couldn't walk away. I was trying to pick out my baseball cards.
I walked back to the aisle. I can't even imagine.
And he kept talking.
I don't know.
Should have just pulled out this book and started reading it to him.
Should have.
So I wanted to do some of the Goodreads reviews.
Yeah,
for this,
read them.
Because there are some hilarious ones.
Can I go first?
And then when Crazy Beach comes down, we could give our ratings out of turkeys.
Yeah, out of gobbles.
Out of gobbles, yeah.
Out of, wait, what was that penis called?
Oh my God.
Cloacas?
Cloacas? How many
Cloaca?
Cloaca? I don't know.
I don't know cloaca.
Just dumb pages. Yeah.
I put it recorded here.
Record it
now.
Record it now, too.
Hang on, hold on. Just put it closer to
Yeah, just call her and tell her we're in
gonna
book club and
answer
she's on
this.
recording.
She knows. I told her.
Ask her how to pronounce it.
I'm gonna see if she'll do it again. She's gonna probably not answer now.
I have no service down here.
I got one bar.
Me too.
I have 2.
I need you to repeat the word again because I forgot it.
The this like
No, it's because we
No, you guys are humiliated.
No, it's because we couldn't remember the word, and we were gonna rate the book and how many is it cloaca?
Yeah, it's cloaca.
We're gonna rate the book and how many cloacas.
Ask her to say it as the plural.
Cloaca. Oh, awesome.
I think that is cloacas the plural, or is it cloacae? She's like, I don't know.
I'm not that bad.
Okay, bye. Bye, Paige.
Bye.
She's like, I don't want your group to think I know that like that.
But she does. Okay, so we're going to read some good read reviews for Stuffed by the Were Turkey.
I didn't think it was a word turkey, to be honest.
I'm not sure it really qualifies as a were turkey because it doesn't fully shift. No turkeys were harmed here, just my eyes, my brain, and my will to live. 1 star.
This one says, I am so freaking sorry. If this is on your feed, do not read this. I let my curiosity get the best of me and I shouldn't have. Please do not let my mother see this.
Somebody just said, Happy Thanksgiving week, y'all. That's it. Somebody just said, do not read this with a smiley face.
Every day I stray further from the light of God. This was hilarious, but also good. Definitely for an open-minded reader. 5 stars.
Well, I'll be a witch's tit. I guess she's not a vegetarian anymore.
That's pretty good.
Is she a creamy witch's tit? Can't do a week.
Should I make a dating profile and put that on there?
Please do.
Yes.
Please do.
She really enjoyed her thesaurus. Yeah, there were a lot of different... She didn't say any word twice.
No, not for describing the by hearts.
Yeah, she did not repeat. She probably originally did and then just used the thesaurus and changed them.
Her verbs were pretty repetitive, though.
Questioning my life after reading this. Googling if I can buy the mind eraser from Men in Black. Most unhinged 13 pages of my life.
I wish I had one of those.
Alright, so what are we rating this out of?
Cloacas.
How many turkey penises are we rating it?
Cloacas.
I'm definitely rating it a 0.
Zero cloacas.
Zero cloacas. Okay.
0 cloacas.
Cloacas.
0 out of what? Let's do 28 because Thanksgiving's on the 28th.
Fine. 0 out of 28.
Okay.
I'm going to give it 2 out of 28 cloacas, and I give it 2 because it gave me some tit and weird analogies that I now can use on my dating profile. 2 of them.
I feel like -2.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
You want to read it again?
No reason.
Nope. Okay.
You guys say the word.
Cloacas.
I will give it 1 cloaca because she wrote it and she published it.
She did that.
And that is an achievement. Good job.
No.
I'm giving it
Gobble
0.
gobble.
You skipped me.
I'm giving it 0 cloacas for the sole fact that she did write and publish it. All right, go ahead.
I guess I give it 0.5 cloacas.
Mm-hmm.
You cut 1 in half.
Yeah.
It only has the bowls. No shaft.
Why? Why are you giving it 0.5?
I didn't like that it had a turkey head.
So if it has a regular body or regular full body, you give it a 1.
Just a
I
full
give
turkey
it a
body?
1. Yeah. No.
That's
Yeah. No, that'd be negative. But yeah.
Okay.
Now, this author did write other books. And I just got to read some of them to you.
I was like, I don't like them.
It's hilarious. They are Mated to the Minotaur and Tentacle Kisses.
Okay, but a lot of people want to ban Minotaur.
But yeah, that's
Like
like
a lot of
a
people do.
Isn't that like the half horse, half human?
No,
half
that's
bull.
half human.
Oh.
But the top part is bull.
It's like
Oh.
it is, but it's not. Like it's like the head, and it has like fur. But
I'd
it's-
like to bang a guy who rides bulls.
Yeah, sure.
That's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk.
So, we have been accused by ourselves of being haters.
That's me.
Because we are. Because we
Yeah.
are. Yeah. So, I would like all of us to each list 1 thing we hate No.
Oh.
A book we love.
Oh.
So that we're not always haters. Because we hate everything we read.
I'd rather name something we hate.
That's what we always do.
Yeah.
Any 5-star book you have ever read in your entire life.
5 stars? How do I know if it's 5 stars? Or my
You
judgment?
know
Or
it's 5 stars.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to say, I don't fucking know.
Well, I'll go first. 'Cause
Okay.
Can it be a series?
Anything. Go ahead.
Fine. Mine is the Kit Davenport series. And it is obviously reverse harem. And it was like one of my first big series into that. And I've got like merch from her and I've bought in like random shit.
I bought.
I've got a coloring book.
You have a sweater that I also bought.
Yeah, like I've got a bunch of random stuff. And I love that book and I recommend it to anybody who is getting into that genre. As their
That genre,
first
aka reverse harem.
reverse harem, yes. As their first.
I don't read that many books.
Mm-hmm.
But I did read, and I'm more small town romance, remember, than these kind of things. I really like Lucy Score. She has a series. And the first one I ever read, which I still love, was Things We Never Got Over.
That's cute.
Or Things We Never Left Behind was the first one, actually, I think. Things We Never Left Behind. Either way, she has like 3, and they all have names like that. So.
Frog and Toad series.
Oh,
yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Toad Frog, Frog and Toad.
They're
One of
cute.
them.
I do like Pete that.
I can't.
Me too. I got my white shoes.
We're big Pete cat lovers in our house.
I read a book, but I don't remember what it was called or the author.
Okay.
But it was about a guy who actually kidnapped this one kid and later got with the mom, and the mom didn't realize it was her kid until way later. And then she killed him. And then no. The person who kidnapped him. Oh. That's the only one I can think of. And Puff the Magic Dragon.
Daddy, chicka chicka boom boom.
The Twilight series, breaking down specifically. I think it's written super well. I love that it has 0 plot holes, and I'm definitely not a hater, and I definitely can 100% think of a lot of books that I don't hate. So,
Can we name books we hate now?
This one.
can I follow this with Twilight series breaking down?
So because this is our Thanksgiving episode, we should go around and say what we are all thankful for. As if we are some kind of functional family.
Okay. Well, I had my Wi-Fi turned off yesterday, and I'm thankful I have that now. So, service wasn't enough. I need like 6 different screens doing something.
Oh, relatable.
And I was going to be nice and be like, thankful for my kids.
Well, I don't have kids.
No, I'm not going to do that. No, skip me
You're
there.
welcome for setting the tone.
Yeah, so now I got to think of something.
All right, Allie.
Well, I'm thankful for my kids.
Aww.
And Daniel on my Kindle, so I can read smut.
Fair.
As a full-time single mom, I am actually thankful for my family because otherwise I'd have many mental health problems without their help. And that's not a joke. That's serious.
Same.
Well, I mean, I kind of do a little too, but I'm also thankful for days that are sunny, even though we don't have any of those right now. Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm thankful for my family, so I don't have more mental health problems.
I like that.
Yeah.
Seasonal depression.
Right. Me too.
I am thankful for my children and my husband who works his ass off for our family.
I am thankful also for my self-restraint and not killing anybody I work with.
I'm thankful for my family, and I mean this wholeheartedly and genuinely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really thankful for Culver's chicken tenders. With honey mustard.
Ranch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cheese curds.
Yes.
Pretzel bites.
Yeah, me and Amanda get pretzel bites on our lunch sometimes when we're trying to eat healthy, but decide we don't want to eat healthy.
But we don't get ice cream.
But we don't get ice cream.
Okay, so I am thankful for all of you guys.
Wow.
Thanks for doing this shit with me.
You're so sweet.
I'm gonna need some tears to make it real.
Yeah, please
do
A
that.
gobble.
One more time.
You're really thankful.
One more time. Okay, let me try.
Yeah, get close to the mic.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, I can do it again.
It's the tongue that gets me thinking too. I'm like,
Our last thing to say. It was just Smut Slut's birthday.
Wow!
Should I pull up a picture of a birthday cake and we can sing her happy birthday?
Maybe we should sing happy birthday because she hates that.
We should put a plug in for my kids being on the TV show and they should watch it.
Okay. You say it. It's your child.
Children. So if any of our listeners happen to watch TV too, Chicago PD that airs on January 8th, the 2 cute kids that are kidnapped are my children, Crazy Beach's children. So watch them, enjoy them. They're cute.
Go! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday, dear Smut Slut! Happy birthday to you!
Light candles!
And now you get to sign us off.
Can you just gobble again?
That's all, folks.
Bye, bitches.
Thank you everyone for listening. This has been Must Love Books. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Patreon under @MustLoveBooksPodcast. Thank you and happy reading.
This podcast is supported by Talkspace.
When my husband came home from his military deployment, readjusting was hard for all of us. Thankfully, I found Talkspace.
Talkspace provides professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatric providers online. Military members, veterans, and their dependents ages 13 and older can get fast access to providers, all from the privacy of their computers or smartphones.
I just answered a few questions online, and Talkspace matched me with a therapist. We meet when it's convenient for me, and I can message her anytime. It was so easy to set up, and they accept TRICARE. Therapy was going so well, my husband and I started seeing a couples therapist through Talkspace too.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, including TRICARE. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com/military. Go to Talkspace.com/military to get started today. That's Talkspace.com/military.